So here is our fall project today. This is the really cool resin crown that I've done before, and it is so fun to make, and it looks so cool when it comes out of the mold. When it comes out of the mold, it's very hard to get out. But anyway, I'm gonna do something different. I'm going to put these dried flowers in there, and I'm just gonna shove it in. So I'm shoving some little ferns in and making them fit. I know that a lot of times things float, like dried things float in resin, and that's okay because each little crystally thing that is in the crown is small. And I'm thinking if I wedge it in there, like really wedge it in there, then it maybe won't float as bad. And I'm also going to test it out with my it's not necessarily new. I've had it for a while, but my pressure pot to see if it helps with bubbles. So this is just a lovely sped up montage of me shoving everything in. I'm hoping things would fit. And I don't even know what these plants really are. I just bought some plants on Amazon, which I can link in the bottom, some dried plants um, that I thought were cool fall colors. I think this crown is not really meant to be on your head. I have tried to wear it on my head before, and it's just not the right shape. It's too round. I'm assuming that I could make it the right shape by kind of shaping it before it is hardened all the way, but I have not done that yet. And I have tried to change the mold a little bit, like squish the insides of the mold to make it more oval, not so round. But this time I want it to be round because I am planning on using this as like a table setting for fall and putting candles in it. So I know that a lot of people have like little round things, pretty wreaths and things, and then they put it on like a round mirror and then put candles on that. And that's kind of what I'm planning on doing with this. A little round mirror underneath, and then some candles in the center, and hopefully, in my head, hopefully, when the candles are lit, it will shine through the crystal with the fun fall plants in there, and it will look really cool. So that's what's in my head. We will see. We will see how it looks. I love how experimenting with resin, you just kind of put everything in there and see what it turns out. See what it looks like when it's done. It's always a surprise. So that is kind of what I like doing with resin. It's more of a, you can kind of let loose your control of the project a little bit. So I'm shoving these things in and trying to make them fit. I think maybe at this point decided it didn't really matter that they were broken because a lot of them did kind of break and shard off. But as you can see, I've got some shoved in each of the little crystals. And then I've decided instead of doing it all clear, originally I was just going to do all clear, but then I thought maybe it would look a little boring, especially if there was some bubbles in there. I'm hoping the pressure pot will take care of the bubbles, but that is to be seen. So I'm mixing up some white because I thought some fun swirlies would be nice because the white, if you put in a little bit, it kind of keeps its white swirliness and it looks just really neat. I've done this many times before. And then bronze, I thought was a very fun fall color. And my idea with this was to mix up some bronze and like layer it on the top. So I'm putting clear in there first. And oh, yeah, I love the swirl of mica powder. So here's a slowed down little montage of swirl. Enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed that because I sure did. um, Sometimes I just play around with swirling the mica powder and the resin just for fun. So actually, I started filling this up, and then I remembered how incredibly difficult it was to get this out, and I should have sprayed that demolding spray first before I put the flowers in, but I didn't. So I'm putting it in there now. I don't know if it's really going to help or work at all at this point. So we'll see how that goes when I demold it. It's probably not going to go great. Um, but anyway, so I put in some clear, and then this is just a little bit of white around the top. I'm hoping that it will sink as I put more clear in, which usually it does. I've done this before and it looks so cool and like misty almost and swirly in there. So I'm putting another layer of clear, and I think I'm going to put another layer of white before I put the bronze on. I kind of wanted the bronze to stay at the top and not flow all the way through. I wasn't sure if that was going to actually happen or not. It's kind of, well, it'll just be a surprise. It'll be a surprise when I demold it. So I'm just layering some clear and some white and some clear and some white, making sure it is all deep down in there, doing a little pat here and there. I know putting dried flowers in, you can catch bubbles in weird places, and I'm not paying too close of attention to where the bubbles are right now because I am going to put this in the pressure pot, and I've actually not made this crown mold and put it in the pressure pot yet, so I'm hoping it will take care of the bubbles that always show up somewhere. So here is me putting the crown on my, this is the shelf that my husband made for my pressure pot. Very wonderful craftsmanship. It has legs. I can put two levels in my pressure pot because of these really nice wooden shelves my husband made. And then I also decided I had some extra because I always mix up too much. And I mixed up 300 mils, and it turns out that the crown really only takes a little over 100 mils to make the crown. I would say maybe 110, 120 mils. I kind of tried to measure, but it's so difficult to see how much you have left. So I had like about 200 mils left. So I thought, oh, I think I might be able to do this. I had some dried flowers left over, and I wanted to make a paperweight with just clear and a flower in. And then I also wanted to test out the pressure pot to see how well it took out the bubbles from the dried flowers, because there's different ways you can try to get bubbles out of flowers. And I decided not to do any of that and just to see how well the pressure pot actually works. So that's what I did. Here's my pressure pot. And you can see I put it on about 55-ish PSI. So let's see how this looks when it comes out. So this is what it looks like after I took it out of the pressure pot. I took it out a little early, so it's a little bit too malleable right now to take out, because with this mold, it is a pain in the butt to get it out. So I'm letting it sit, but I wanted to show you that I do see some bubbles. There's definitely some bubbles, and some of the plants have floated to the top, but I feel confident that it is gonna look cool. I hope. I'm a little worried about the bubbles, so let's demold it. So this is the next day, so it should be nice and hard and ready to go. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. Should I edit that out? Ready to demold. So I'm gonna let you watch me struggle to get this demolded for a little bit because this mold is very difficult, and I did spray the demold spray, but I sprayed it a little bit after the fact, and I should have sprayed it before. I am grabbing some soapy water, and that really does help to make everything a little slipperier, so that it can come out a little easier. But still, there are some sharp edges, and it's just, you have to be careful not to cut yourself, but also this was a little bendy still. It needs maybe another day to fully cure, but it's totally fine to touch at this point. It is mostly cured. And it is actually a little easier to get out of the mold when it's a little bendy. So, yeah, just enjoy me struggling. All right, so I got it out. Whew, that was hard to watch again. And there are some quite significant bubbles, unfortunately. I'm wondering if maybe my pressure pot was not cranked down far enough and maybe it lost pressure along the way, or maybe it was the type of resin I used. I've used this resin before, but usually it comes out great. It might be the plants that were harboring the bubbles that maybe the pressure pot couldn't get out. I'm not sure. But as with any resin project, sometimes things happen and you don't know why. And it was cold in my workroom when I was doing this, so it may be the cold, maybe a combination of a lot of things actually. But as I said before, I wanted the bronze to kind of stay towards the bottom, which it didn't. It fell. So here is how the paperweight turned out. It doesn't have as many bubbles, and I'm wondering if maybe it was user error because you can see that there is some unevenness in the clear resin. So it might have been me. It might have been me. But this is kind of the way that I planned on like using it as a table setting. I think it looks nice. The bubbles may not be too much of a hindrance for some people, but I do think it looks nice. Next time I think I might just do all clear, make sure my pressure pot is working correctly. But I do think that I had fun making this, and it does look fun and cute and festive, and I do like it. So this is another picture and another way to style it on your table. I did have the help of AI to make it look like I live in a library. So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed me making this lovely crown again.